And we're live. Happy happy hour, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It looks like we already have like 22 people joining us. Thank you for joining the first ever virtual Elk River Brewing Company happy hour. We are all streaming to you live from our homes with our crowlers and growlers and mugs. We've got some special guests today and some entertainment by Karis Latshaw. But first, I would like to bring on Brad and Jessica. Doop doop. There they are. Hey, Brad, Jess. How's it going?
Can we cheers?
Cheers.
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 What are you drinking, Bradford?
Chucktown Brown, and then
Nice.
Wit beer coming after that.
Okay, Jessica.
How long are we going to be here tonight?
Fair.
Whip beer.
Whip beer.
Red.
And I have the Done Right. So talk a little bit about things and what's going on at the brewery due to this whole mess that we're all in.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks for us. I think that I first would like to start by thanking our staff, all of our supporters, everybody that's been a part of Elk River for a long time. And it's been a trying time, but there's some good news, right? Lee's shaking his head. The good news is we're going to make it through this. We're going to be very, we're going to make it through this.
Jessica, would you like to talk?
Jessica's making the face I make at Lee all day long.
True. No, this is tough for everyone, but we want to be there to support our staff and to be there for our customers who love us and have supported us throughout the past year and a half. So hopefully we can just push through, keep open for you guys enough to get the beer you want, and be here waiting when everything lifts up and we can all get back together again and happen.
And actually, now is a good time for me to also talk about this. Look at the bottom of your screen. We started an Eventbrite page called tipyourbartender.eventbrite.com. And we're going to try to raise some money to give out to all of our bartenders because they're the ones that are really suffering the most because they're the ones that are out of work. This screen is crazy. So if you want to tonight, you can go to that website, make a donation, and we will split the money that is raised tonight among the bar staff at the brewery. They can't wait to get back and serve you all beer. We all can't wait to be back at work on a regular basis with our customers. So if you are missing Jojo, Drew, Rebecca, all of them, Tom and Tina and Melanie, give them a little shout out tonight and give a donation. We already have some comments. Let's see what's happening here.
I will say at the end of it, yesterday we brewed our last batch. That'll fill all of our kegs, and then we'll have to see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean we've got a lot of beer ready to.
We have a lot of beer,
and hopefully we'll get through this soon. All right, so we've got our good friend Ray. Hi, Ray. How are you? Joe Zarillo is on here. My brother is also on here. That's cool. Okay. Richard Bates, still trying to finish my Dale's Pale Ale before switching to my Done Right Growler. Thanks, JoJo. Hey, we've also got some other local folks on here. Isabel. Hi, Isabel. How are you? I had a delicious tuna melt from Spork yesterday. That was great. And Patty is on here.
Patty!
Patty, Joe and her drinking some Elk River right now. That's fantastic.
Patty did make the first donation to the Bartender Fund.
Yeah, right. Oh, did they?
Afternoon. She did when she came in. She
fantastic.
made a donation.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Patty.
One of our distributors, Chase. Chase is watching. Hey, Chase, how are you?
Chase.
Cool. Anything else you'd like to say before we pull Karis up?
Pull her up.
All right. See ya. Hey, Karis.
Hi, everyone.
How are you? So Karis was one of the first people we had at the brewery do some entertainment course, we started doing music regularly. So I thought it would be fitting to have her be our first guest on our virtual happy hour. And for those of you that don't know, Karis's mom is Rebecca, who is one of our amazing bartenders at the brewery. So Karis is.
She'll be hopping in a second too to sing some with me.
Oh,
so
she is?
I'm dragging her into it.
Wait.
Yeah. Not yet.
Did you? Brad was like, "Is Rebecca gonna sing tonight?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, she'll be on. I'm forcing her to.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna turn it over to you for a bit.
Okay. I'm ready. Well, you done me and you bet I felt it to try to get you. You're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. And now I'm trying to get back before the cool done run out. I'll be giving it my bestest and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's against my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot be. I'm yours. Open up your mind, see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find love, love, love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family. It's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love, love. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Do 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 do. Oh. I've been spending way too long checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. Breath fogged up the glass, so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I'm saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities. Go with the seasons, it's what we aim to do. Our name is untrue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. There's no need to complicate. Our time is yours. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, and now for the next song. Here we go. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing in my head, I'll paint a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Well, come on over, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over that way? That way. Oh, that way. go to jail. Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a chance. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. I ain't shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine? You were dodging all the time. You're still dizzy. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your tender hair and the way you like to dress. Come on over. Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Ooh, Valerie. So sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things that you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Yeah, since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Would you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, come on over, Valerie. Valerie. Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Fantastic. What are you drinking there, Karis?
Definitely not a White Claw.
Definitely not.
No.
Such a disappointment.
Wait, we should.
Hold on. What? I'm getting there. So a couple of things. Some people have posted. Where did the one go? This is my favorite. That's my kid. Also your dad. Sharon and Joe. Everybody, if you're on, feel free to comment. We'll bring up some of your comments. So Karis, tell us, how are you keeping from going crazy during this quarantine?
A lot of hiking and a lot of music. I think that's the best thing. Like, especially if you can get out on like a trail where there's not that many people there, so you can social distance very well. That's what we've been doing pretty much every day. Me and my sisters have been going on like 6+ mile hikes every day just to get out of the house. And
You know what
drinking helps too.
I heard somebody say the other day, it's not, we should call it physical distancing instead of social distancing, because we're still trying to be social, but we're physically not able to be together. And I was like, that's a good one. Yeah. So I started trying to call it physical distancing because we don't want to socially distance.
I like that.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me bring up Brad and Jess for a little bit here. What'd you think of Karis?
Love it.
Amazing as always.
So what are you guys doing from going crazy?
Lots of projects.
How's being a teacher, Jess?
It's fun, isn't it?
Well, luckily, my older two pretty much don't need me, and the younger one needs me every second. So she takes a lot of time.
Are they doing like a lot of Zoom lessons? That's what our school has gone to.
No, I think they do that for tutoring type stuff, but we haven't done any Zoom yet. The older kids are, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're doing, but the older kids are doing some Zoom, and then lots of packets. And next week we'll go online for the little kids. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's what we're starting to do too. It's crazy.
I'm supporting.
You're what?
I'm just supporting.
All of us, literally. Great. We actually are lucky enough at Elk River. Karis, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. We're lucky at Elk River to have a resident doctor. Doc Mulvey to come on and kind of give us a little bit of an update. Doc, what are you drinking? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I actually would like to kind of tag on to something Farrah said. That one of the things I've been telling my patients recently is that the air outside is not toxic. You can go outside, go out and do things. You don't have to hang out in your house. It's not we haven't been attacked by chemicals. You just have to be avoiding other people. So get out and do stuff. Don't be sitting around gaining weight and getting lazy, because it's gonna come back to bite you later when you have to get out of here.
Right.
But people have been asking us, a lot about this particular illness. And I've been studying a lot because I've been the state air surgeon in Delaware until very recently, and have to know a lot about it. But everyone that's listening to this has had coronavirus. Normally, it causes a cold. Gets in your nose and causes a little upper respiratory infection, and you get over it. This one is the third in a series of modified coronaviruses that have evolved to do other things. And the thing that's unique about this one, SARS in early 2002 and MERS that came out in about 2014, 2013 out of the Middle East, instead of infecting cells in your nose, they infect cells in your lung. So they cause a viral pneumonia. The thing that's unique about this one is it's much more contagious. It's more contagious than influenza. Those of you that are hoping it's going to go away when the weather warms up, we knew about a month into this that wasn't going to happen because it was already south of the equator. So if it's already moved south of the equator into Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, that tells you it doesn't care what the season is. So if you're hoping it's going away when the weather gets warm like flu does, I wouldn't count on it. The good news is that when in countries where they can do more testing, and I'll return to that in a minute, what they found was when they were testing a lot of people, and we had a better idea of who was positive and who was negative, about 80% of the people that get the illness have a very mild illness. The problem we have in this country is we're very limited in how many tests we can do. In China, when this first started, they were testing people multiple times. They were able to track down contacts. They were able to test people that had no symptoms. That's when they found out that there's a fair number of people that are walking around with this disease, with this virus in them, who feel fine or feel like they have a mild cold. About 20% are going to get pretty significantly sick. And it's mainly with a viral pneumonia. There's not much going on up here. It kind of bypasses the upper respiratory tract, gets into the lung and causes a pneumonia there. People are dying from a couple of things. Curiously, a lot of people that are dying from heart-related problems. We're not really sure why. It could have something to do with what cells the virus is attacking. But the 20% that get really sick mostly get sick with a really bad pneumonia. People that are contracting, the reason to do a test in somebody. I've had 2 patients present to my office so far who have had fever and a cough, who I've tested. The one I sent back, both of them I sent back home immediately. I said, you hang out till you hear about the test. One's turned positive and he's waiting to get better. The other one, I'm pretty sure is going to turn positive. I should hear about that. I tested him Friday. I'll probably have that early next week. But the bottom line is if you kind of have a cold and you don't feel well, what we've always said for years is if you don't feel well, you shouldn't go to work. We've never done that. That's not been something we do in our country, but because we go to work. But now if you have a cold and if you have a cough and a fever, assume you have it. You probably do. There's an 80% chance that you're going to be not feeling real good for a while, but you're going to be coughing and having a fever, and you can manage that at home with Tylenol, lots of fluids, don't leave your house, and it's going to get better. At what point should you be seeking me or seeking an emergency room? When you're having trouble breathing. This doesn't tend to cause a lot of wheezing, apparently, but if you're having trouble, if you feel like you're having trouble moving air, that's the point at which you need to be getting to an ER. At that point, I can't really help you. You need to be in an emergency room. And what we're doing in hospitals is we're keeping people alive long enough for their immune system to kill this bug. But if you get a fever and a cough, you probably have COVID-19. You're going to be sick for about 10 to 14 days, and then you're going to get better. one of the questions I was asking today in all of my contacts with people around the world who are treating this is, okay, I've got 2 people now home that are going to be positive with this. At what point do I tell them they can leave the house? And what the CDC is saying, I think, is a little bit too bold. They're saying once you've been better for 7 days, go out. If 7 days from the beginning of the illness, assuming you're feeling better, you can leave your house. That's not in keeping with what China found, because China, like I said, was testing people throughout their illness. They were testing it at the beginning. They were testing during hospitalization. As they started to get better, they continued to test them because they had an abundance of tests, unlike us. And what they found was people were shedding virus up to 10 to 14 days from the beginning of the illness. That's kind of where that 14-day number came from. So if you've been exposed to someone you know has COVID, the actual incubation period, if you got exposed to somebody, it's anywhere from 12 to 13 days, which is why we said 14. But the average is 5. So the average length of time someone's going before they actually turn up with symptoms is about 5 days. So if you're getting a week into it and you've been exposed to someone you know you're exposed to, you're probably going to be okay, but I can't guarantee that. The thing is, in our country, you don't know who you're being exposed to. I was out at Walmart today. I was out at Tractor Supply today. I had run some errands. I was one of the few people wearing a mask. If you're going out to go shopping, recommend you wear a mask if you can. My wife is making them. As you're aware, we have a real shortage of personal protective equipment. That's hopefully changing soon. But one of the best, there's lots of things popping up in social media about how to make masks. The best thing that you can do is if you're going to make something out of a close weave piece of cloth, try and find a HEPA filter like from a vacuum cleaner bag and incorporate that into it, because that will stop enough of the particles. There is a study looking at about 1,600 hospital workers over about a month's period of time in ICUs, where they had half of them using cloth masks and half of them using just surgical masks. Cloth masks didn't work all that well. They said they had about a 13 times greater likelihood of getting an influenza-like illness during that time. Adding a HEPA filter material probably helps, but we're still sorting this out as we go. So the bottom line for everybody that's out there, stay 6 feet away from everybody. Wash your hands a lot. If you're having an itchy nose, wash your hands first, then do that. Before you're cooking, before you know, all the things we've always told you, wash your hands before and after the bathroom, before you're going to go and cook. When Walmart's doing a pretty good job having a spray sanitizer that you can spray on the handle, and they got towels there. Rinse your hands a little bit with that. When I got back to the car after I picked up my stuff, I had a little bottle of the hand sanitizer. I used that before I got in the car. You should be washing your hands so much that they're falling off the ends of your arms. If you want to shake hands, you got to sanitize after that. Lots of people are bumping elbows. Yeah, that'll work. But these are the things that mostly spread infections. When people sneeze, they can spray enough infectious material up to 10 feet out. We're talking 6. That's why I'm recommending people wear masks if they can when they're out. But we haven't seen the peak here. When I checked this morning, we had about 13 cases in Cecil County. One of them is my patient, and I think I may have a second one. Hospital has about half a dozen people under investigation that might have it. But we're just starting to see this here.
Can I ask a question about that, Doug? So we're seeing a lot of new cases every day. I think there was something like 212 new cases in Maryland overnight. Is a lot of that because now more people are getting tested? It's not necessarily there's not a freak out level yet that it's spreading that fast. It's just more people are getting tested, correct?
Well, we don't actually have all that much more. We've done some more testing, but there is also there's a logarithmic increase in cases. So it's a little bit of both. But remember, hang on to that 80% number. 80% of the people that get this are going to have mild illness and they're going to get better. One of the things that's unique about this one, in lots of other pandemics, there's been what's called a U-shaped curve of mortality, where you get the very young and the very old dying. 1918, the flu epidemic then was a bit unique in that you had a W-shaped one. People who are 20 to 40 were getting seriously ill too, which was devastating because I was young parents. This one doesn't do that. This one it's missing the left limb. It's getting mostly older folks. Next month, I turn 60. I have hypertension. That puts me in a high risk category because people with hypertension tend to have worse outcomes with this, even if their hypertension is well controlled. That it probably has something to do with the receptor that the virus happens to bind to. It's a receptor in the lung that's involved in blood pressure regulation. So people that have hypertension are more likely to have a problem. But some of it's more testing. Some of it's because the testing was quite delayed even when we get it. Some labs are taking up to a week to get it back. The lab that I've been using got one test back to me in 48 hours. I'm going to see if this second one is just as fast. So there's a lag time in the testing because we just don't have enough testing equipment materials. But it's not just that. There is, in fact, an increase in cases. And you're going to see this continue to ramp up every week. It's going to continue to go up logarithmically. But most of you are probably going to get it, and you're going to get a mild illness, and you're going to get better.
We have a couple comments. Isabel says, "Hi, Doc. Thanks for the info." Matt, great advice.
It helps.
Be up, and Joe Cirillo says, "Hey, Doc."
Hey, Joe.
So if you have a question for Doc throughout this, he'll be hanging on.
I'll be here.
Hanging on for a bit. So if you have a question, send it in the comments, and we'll ask Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Well, I'll enjoy my test.
We have a special guest that is unannounced. Jojo, can you hear us?
Hi, I'm here.
Hey, girl, hey!
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What are you drinking? Nothing?
Nothing. I drank at the brewery. Don't tell anyone.
Scandalous. I'm telling the owners. So Jojo will be hanging out with us for a bit. We'll bring her back a little later. Right now, we're going to go back to what happened there? That was weird. I don't know. We're going to go.
He saw his own reflection.
I know, it's crazy. We're going to go back
I
to
can hear Sully
Karis.
squeaking.
What's that?
I said I can hear Sully squeaking.
Yeah, we're
We're
gonna
not bringing him back till later.
Yeah, Sully's going to the basement. We're gonna bring Karis back. Bye, Jojo. We'll see you later. Bye, Brad and Jessica. Hey, it's Rebecca as well.
Look, here she is.
Hey guys.
She's there. Wait. Brad,
I am
Rebecca's
truly-
here. Everything,
I'm
all is well
truly
in the
loving
world.
it, so.
I mean, I have pajama pants on, so.
And look, she's drinking a
Alright,
white
so you guys are gonna sing a couple of songs.
Can we
Are
do
you
a
white
shameless
clawing as
plug?
well?
Yeah,
What?
Yes, I am. I'm
I
so
saw that
happy.
you were bullying
But
me.
yeah, don't bully. Can I do a shameless plug?
Sure.
Okay, you can get these amazing koozies from my nephew,
Oh, mine's better.
but hers is even better. It says
Jesus hates it when you drink.
Jesus hates it when you drink. Get a koozie. The warm season's coming. We need it. It's what's it called?
Last Light Apparel.
Last Light Apparel. They make t-shirts.
All right.
I don't know why I'm turning into a 1920s, but please buy them.
Just sing, please.
Okay,
We need to support
that's the
local
Latch House, friends. We're gonna let them sing.
All right, here we go.
Oh, what are we singing?
You ain't woman enough.
Oh, wait, we have that? Okay, cool.
Just go down with the
Yep.
or whatever.
You called to tell me something. You say I ought to know. He don't love me anymore, and I have to let him go. You say you're gonna take him on, but I don't think you care. 'Cause you ain't woman enough. Take my man. Women like you are down dozen, you can find her anywhere. For you to get to him, I'd have to move over, and I'm gonna stay right here. And I'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough. Take my man. Sometimes a man's caught looking at things that he don't need. He take the can't look at you, but he's in love with me. When I don't know where to leave you, oh, but I know where I stand. Couldn't you ain't woman enough to take my man? Women like you are diamond dust, and you can find love anywhere. For you to get to him, I'd have to move over, and I'm gonna stay right here. Wanna be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. You ain't woman enough to take my man.
All right. Next one. What was it? What are we gonna do next? Oh, here we go. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. We all take a chug and a sip, please.
Happy. Oh, Papa's boosting us. Okay. This is one of our classics that we like to sing together. Here is Closer to Find by the Indigo Girls.
It's my favorite song.
Wait, oh.
I just said it's my favorite song.
Oh,
Keep going.
Wait, stop! I just think this is entertaining because I'm sitting on a box of clothes right now because we're in the process of moving and I didn't feel like bringing in a chair, so I'm sitting on a box of clothes. It's really
Good.
comfy. All right, hit it. Sorry.
I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. The best thing you ever done for me is to help me take my life less seriously. It's only life after all. Yeah. Well, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. And loudness has a call that's hard to hear. I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I sail my ship of safety till I sink it. I'm crawling on your shore. Yeah. I went to the doctor. I went to the mountains. I looked to the children. I drank from the fountains. There's more than one answer to these questions. Pointing me in a broken line. Unless I seek my source for some definitive, closer I am to find. Yeah. Closer I am to find. Yeah. I went to see the doctor of philosophy with a poster of Rasputin and a beer down to his knees. He never did marry or see a B-grade movie. He graded my performance. He said he could see through me. I said, boy, you brought straight to the higher mind. Got my paper and I was free. I went to the doctor. I went to the mountains. I looked to the children. I drank from the fountains. Yet there's more than one answer to these questions. Pointing me in a broken line. Unless I seek my source for some definitive, closer I am to find. Yeah. Closer I am to find. Yeah. I stop at the bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle or possibly a friend. And I woke up with a headache like my head against the wall. Twice as cloudy as I did the night before. I went in seeking clarity. I went to the doctor. I went to the mountains. I looked to the children. I mountains. We look to the children. We drink from the fountain. Yeah, we go to the mountain through the way. We read up on the Bible. We stand up on the lookout. There was an answer to these questions. We want to be in a broken line. Unless I seek my source for some definitive. Closer I am to mine, yeah. Closer I am to mine, yeah. Closer I am to
We have a couple comments. Patty Paulus, love the Indigo Girls. You two sound great. Also, hi from Josh and Sunshine. They're watching. And again, we are drinking. Good job. Good job. So thank you, Latshaws. We'll bring you back in a little bit to sing some more songs. Bradford, someone is commenting on your page and not ours. You want to talk about it?
So we have a lot of comments from friends of ours in Colorado and elsewhere, and we appreciate you guys supporting us.
Yeah.
We see your comments and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, so and that's something that I guess I need to sort of make more clear. If you want your comment to come up on the screen, you have to comment on the actual one on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, I can't pull it over. So if you're commenting elsewhere, we appreciate it. And thank you for watching us and thank you for supporting us. I can't put your comment on the screen. Doc, I'm going to bring you back real quick. We got a couple questions. Oh, Doc is muted. Are you muted, Doc? There we go.
How about that?
There we go.
So we have two questions that I see here, and I think they're actually kind of related.
Okay.
Where is the one? It's from Larry. I think he's talking about the coronavirus and the heart issues. Could it have anything to do with actual blood pressure meds?
They've looked at that. Certain blood pressure medicines work within the receptor that the virus binds with is called angiotensin converting enzyme 2. It's on lung cells also throughout the body. There have been some people, and I was kind of thinking about this myself, there are certain medicines that block that. And could it actually help? It turns out it probably doesn't have much effect. And the most recent guidance is if you're on I'm on one of these medicines. I'm on a medicine called Benicar, which blocks one of the receptors. Guidance so far seems to be don't change the blood pressure medicines just because of this illness. We haven't really seen bad outcomes from it, but it's more because the virus binds on a receptor that's involved in the regulation of blood pressure. It's not so much because of the medicines themselves. And those receptors are throughout the body. They're mostly in the lung, but they're in other places.
And we have another question from Brian Galloway, who used to be a regular of ours and moved. Where is Brian now? Do you remember, Brad? Is he Colorado as well?
Colorado.
All right, there you go. Well, hi, Brian.
Colorado.
So Brian's question is there any validity with people who have ibuprofen in their system and it has made it worse than those that don't?
That's been tossed around a lot too, and it doesn't seem to be that important, although we're telling people, look, if you got to take something for either fever or body aches, take some Tylenol first, because that's going to, in most cases, work as well as ibuprofen would. Tylenol does not put a load on your kidney and does not cause ulcers. Ibuprofen can do both. So if I'm going to pick a medicine that's going to relieve a symptom, as long as they relieve it equally, I go with the Tylenol. We have seen people who are very, very sick with this disease that have gotten elevated liver enzymes. Tylenol's processed through the liver. But there's a very low chance that that's going to be an issue for anybody that's staying home with this disease. So if you can choose, I would say choose Tylenol. Because again, we don't know. As far as we can tell, there's theoretical reasons why ibuprofen might be a problem, but I would say use Tylenol, and if that works, stick with it.
I would do it. Thanks, Doc. I will, if we have more questions, we'll bring you back. Thank you.
I will sit here and enjoy my beer.
Fantastic. Now we're going to bring up some of our fantastic regulars, Guy and Carmen Wellman, who we lovingly refer to as Team Aloha. I don't have them muted. They're muted. You guys have to unmute. You're muted.
Yep, I'm muted.
There we go. Hey!
Yay! Cheers!
Bring up JoJo's. JoJo's gone.
Cheers!
So Guy and Carmen, I know. Wait, there she is. Hold up. There's
Hey,
JoJo.
Joe!
JoJo, you're on.
Oh,
So I brought up Guy and Carmen. So tell us what you've been doing during your quarantine.
all right. Well, first of all, since Carmen is able to work from home, I had to completely gut our spare room to make it into her office now. So that actually was a 2 to 3 day process because it's been a project for about 7 years
that we never got.
that I never got to. So the push was on. Otherwise, we would have driven each other crazy. So she's now fully up and running, and actually we're in her office right now. So that's the first thing. Then we are also every day, at least for me, but for Carmen every other day, just working out a lot. My gym was very kind in letting us borrow bars, weights, boxes, and dumbbells so that we are beating this virus by staying fit.
Guy usually goes to the CrossFit
Playing lots of
every
Quizzo.
single day.
And oh yes, we
Lots
are
of
playing
Quizzo.
lots of Quizzo since Dan Healy, who comes to every other Wednesday to Elk River. If you haven't been there, please come once Elk River opens back up. But
So we can crush you.
yeah, so Team Aloha.
Or for now, you can join. He has a
Because right now-
Facebook group going.
He does. Yeah.
You can join.
Right.
Crush you virtually. So.
Yes.
Well,
Actually,
we're thinking that we're getting
next-
crushed
next-
pretty badly online.
We're getting our asses kicked by the
I was second today. I was
but,
second.
the other bars.
We're not last.
Yeah,
We're kind of middle,
Yeah.
but we're not first.
So next
shocking.
Saturday, we're going to do this again. And Dan is actually going to be one of our guests, and he's going to do a quick, like, lightning Quizzo round.
That's awesome.
That'll be a lot of fun.
We're going down.
I know, right? So really, Guy and Carmen, and this is kind of why I brought JoJo up right now. What are you doing? Oh, you want to mute them? The real reason that I wanted you to be a guest is because we've been missing a certain dog in the bar. That's Kona. Can Kona make an appearance?
Okay, we have her.
The treats are ready.
There she is.
Hey.
Hello, buddy.
Kona's like, what is that? So, as most of you know, Elk River Brewing Company is very dog friendly, and Kona is a regular. So we've been missing Kona. Oh, and here's Sully again.
Sullivan.
Sully has also become a regular. My dismay. But there's Kona. Jojo, are you happy now that you got to see Kona? Can you hear me,
So
Jojo?
precious.
All right. We have some comments. Let's see what the comments are. Joe Cirillo. Love Team Aloha. Rebecca, my favorite regulars.
We're looking
We're
looking
Jojo,
forward
I
to
miss-
hearing about the Hawaii trip, Joe and Sharon.
Aren't we all?
Oh yeah.
We've missed Joe and Sharon.
We have. Yeah, because all of this happened while they were.
They were on vacation for 2 weeks, and then
Right.
now we're quarantined for.
Right. Oh, and
Exactly.
Gonzalez and Patty are having a virtual happy. Great. So Team Aloha, we'll bring you back towards the end. Right now, we're going to go back to Karis to sing a couple more. Yes. What?
Shameless plug.
Hold on.
Okay, shameless plug. Are we ready?
Yeah.
As some of you know, I'm a working actor, and next Tuesday will be my premiere on CBS's FBI. So the scene I filmed.
That's our favorite show.
The scene I filmed back in the end of February will be premiering Tuesday. I believe it's 8 o'clock. It might be 9 o'clock. I'm not quite sure, but it's FBI. And I have a scene with the lead actor and the one of the other co-stars.
You're a good guy, right? You're not a villain.
I am a guy. I do not die in this like I did in Hawaii Five-0.
Good.
Fantastic.
So I'll be promoting that in pictures once it actually premieres. But again,
Sure.
that's next Tuesday.
Yay! Also
FBI.
watch FBI because it's awesome.
It is.
It is a really good show. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later. Whoop, bloop, bloop, bloop. There's so many buttons.
Wait, they're
Oh, and they're muted. Did I do that? Hey.
We're on now.
Cheers, guy.
I know, right?
right.
How
Hashtag
cool is
famous.
You rock.
You guys ready to sing a couple more songs for us?
Yeah.
Close this out.
This round.
Let's do 3 songs.
Okay. If Cozy answers my text, maybe
All
she'll
right.
come on and sing with us too.
That'd be great.
Girl.
All right, enjoy.
Tell me something, girl. Are you tired in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times, I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times, I fear myself.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired of trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times, I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times, I fear myself. I'm up to deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never make the ground. Crash to the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, shallow. In the shallow, shallow. I love their muted clapping. All right.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just yeah.
Just make sure you scroll down. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare. Flaming locks of auburn hair and ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smell is like the breath of spring. Your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. He talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand. You could easily take my man, but you don't know what it means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. But I could never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene. I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you. Whatever you decide to do, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my hand. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him if no you can't. Okay. What should we do next? This one? That's too sad.
Well, that's you. That's all you, girl.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm tapping out, peeps. Kara's gonna sing this one.
It's not simple to say, but most days I don't recognize me. These shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons are taking more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything I used to be, although it's true I was never attention's sweet center, but I still remember that boy. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken, honest for help. She's messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She's all of these mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She's gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through the back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. But now I got you, and you're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I give it all back for the chance to start over, rewrite an ending or two. For the girl that I knew who would be reckless just enough, who gave hurt, but who learned how to tough it up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. Then she'll get stuck and be scared. ways slowly. Most of the time, she's all of this mixed up, babes in a beautiful pie. She's gone, but she used to be mine.
Great song choices.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if can you guys see all the little people down here like waiting like we can?
Mm-mm.
So we can watch
We
all
can-
of you and watch the show. And entertaining thing. I just when
Brad in the middle
Jolene
of a
came on,
song
Brad was
that-
like,
Look great. She did a great job.
"No, that's fantastic."
Wait, I'm a little disappointed that I haven't heard Brad sing "Shallow" yet. With
Maybe next
Right?
week.
That's true. That's true.
He needs to start drinking much earlier.
Yeah.
Let the dog out. Great. So, Karis and Rebecca, thank you all for joining us.
Of course.
You were great. And thanks for, the 10 million times I texted you this week to try to practice this and figure it out and make sure it worked.
Of course.
Everyone give Karis a round of applause. Yay!
Brad,
Tip your bartenders.
everyone in real time soon.
I know, right? Thank you.
Love you, Karis.
So, Bradford, do you want to talk about some of the changes we're making next week?
Yeah, so the brewery is going to close, but we're going to have Takeout Tuesday. There you go. Lee, I love it. And Fill Up Friday. This is incredible. I feel like Bob Barker.
Okay, but isn't that dog so cute?
It was awesome. So what that means for everybody is we're going to open on Tuesday and Friday, but we can take orders anytime. So if you want to order, if you think about getting beer, we'll be able to deliver on Tuesday
For pickup.
for
Yeah.
pickup.
We're not delivering.
Take out Tuesday.
Come in and pick up from the tap room.
Maybe Brad is personally delivering.
No. Yeah. If I said delivery, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Fill Up Friday. So
Okay,
we're going to
that's-
be open 2 days a week.
Yep.
Good. Looks great.
What?
But if you want it delivered, I think you can get
So yeah,
that.
and Central is still doing our beer when they're open as well. Jojo is back. Maybe Jojo back.
Jojo!
You're back.
I'm here.
So we just talked about. Oh, so we just talked about our takeout Tuesday and our fill up Friday.
Yay.
So, so Jojo and I.
Look, this is your tail. Look.
What is so Jojo and I will be there on Tuesdays and Fridays to fill up your beers. And and hopefully next week Central will also still be selling our beer.
You can also get the beer at Northeast Store.
Yes, and they've been doing a bang up job. Northeast Store has the Elk River IPA, the Dunright IPA, the Mayor Rob Alt beer, the light beer, and our Susky Stout is all available in 32-ounce crowlers at the Northeast Store.
Please
So
get it there too.
yeah, if you're in the Northeast area, you can get our beer there. Great. So let's bring back Doc and Team Aloha. Does this go back? Oh, nope, that's not what that's
big.
definitely not what I wanted. There we go. So thank you all. Next week, not only do we have Dan here as a guest, but we so I'm gonna kill this dog. we have Trevor Biggers will be our music guest next week. Trevor is part of Rumor in the Flood. He's done a couple solo gigs at our place, so he'll be our music guest. And maybe we'll see who else we can pull in. I'm going to try to get Drew on here next week, and Doc will be back to give us an update.
Sure.
What?
Sure.
Awesome. Any last words, Joanna?
She's frozen.
She frozen.
She frozen.
She gone.
She gone.
We should all sign off with the cheers.
I've never known that.
Oh, yeah, so it's cheers.
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 Everybody out.
Cheers. Miss
All
you
right.
guys.
See you guys next
See you next
week.
week.
Watch King of Tigers. So we can think about it.
Bye, guys.
Wash your hands.
Just-
Best beer in town.